You can say this repair cost an arm and a leg. Well, maybe not so much a leg. What's up, everyone, and thank you for joining us once again on the Dstar01 channel. I'm your host, Dexter Arafiles, and today is Figure Fix Friday. And today we're going to be fixing Jiren. Now, let's just jump right into this. I'm just going to tell you exactly what's wrong. This is a common problem with the Figuarts Jiren. As you can see, I am attempting to repair him already, and I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. And this should work. I'm not saying it'll be 100%, but we're going to try our best to get this guy back to where he was 100%. At least, like I said, we're going to attempt. So here's the main issue with Jiren. This is his shoulder joint, or let's use this as an example, his working joint. This shoulder joint, when you put in this arm, right, you plug it in, it'll pop, and if you move it left or right, it's an extremely tight fit, and what will happen is the head of this joint right here, or this peg, will pop off, and I'll even show it to you right here. This is the head of that joint of this arm that's broken, and that popped right off, and it gets stuck right into this joint, and you can no longer fit the arm in anymore. It is pretty much going to be broken unless you remove this. So I'm going to tell you the process. This is a really difficult process, at least it was for me. If you don't have the right tools, I highly recommend you go down in the description down below and get the right tools to get this fix done. These tools are very, very necessary to get this fix to work. So what you want to do, first step, you want to get some hot water. This water has been sitting in the microwave for 3 minutes, or boiling hot water, and you want to dip this entire shoulder into the hot water when it's still there. That way you can pop off this joint. It'll pop off. This is nothing but a ball and socket. It'll pop off, and what you can do now is you can disassemble it. It usually looks like this will be inside the shoulder. Heat this up again. This will pop off, or at least attempt to pop off, and you can now remove the arm like so. And then you have to heat this up. See, it's a lot of heating with water, so you can get this like soft enough. This is extremely hard plastic, and then you could scoop it out with this pick, and this requires a lot of time. It took me about 30 minutes of constantly reheating this water and trying to make sure that I don't break that, or at least I don't break this joint, because once this joint breaks, that's pretty much it. So with careful hands, you could get this done. Again, hot water, heat up all the joints, and then scoop this guy out. Once you have that out, now it's time to get into the meat of the problem. We need to rebuild this joint. As you can see right here, let's zoom right into there. And we're going to do it with Fix-It Sculpt. As you can see, I've already started. But yeah, we're going to fix it with Fix-It Sculpt. As you can see, the head is sheared off. So what we're going to do is we're going to shave this down with some sanding sticks right here. Let's zoom out a little bit. And we're going to sand this down as best as we can so it has a really nice surface, and we're going to sand all the way around. I'm going to tell you why. So what we're going to do is we're going to try our best to create or recreate a new peg for Jiren here. So if we sand this, we'll have more surface area for the Fix-It Sculpt to adhere to. That's what we want. When it comes to gluing anything, sanding is your best friend. Okay, so now that we've sanded that as best as we could, let's keep doing it. Why not? More sanding the better. You got to make sure that's nice and rough. And then let's sand the top a little bit. Okay, now that we're done with that, we take our Fix-It Sculpt, we take a little bit of A and B, and we mix it together. I already did that. And we have a little piece of clay which gets sticky. It's a little bit tough, but it's definitely a little bit sticky as well. So what we want to do is we want to wet this joint. Let's wet that right now. And let's get some of this stuff, just a little bit to go on top. Right, we're going to try our best to mold it onto there. Right, look at that. Now we're going to wet this as well. And sure, let's just add a little bit of water on there too. And we're just going to pop this guy in, and it's going to make a new joint. Watch. Oops. Let's do that again. Usually this worked. This worked last time. Give me 1 second. So we're going to take that out. Because it's wet, it should have just popped right out. Let's clean it up and let's try again. Let's put a little bit on top. Right? Make sure we wet this. This may take a few more times until it sticks or adheres. And look at that. There it is. So we're going to recreate this. We're going to flatten that top just a little bit. Again, we're going to take our pick. We're going to flatten that top. Right? And look at that. That is just gorgeous. We have recreated that. Wow. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to wait 24 hours until this is fully adhered. And then we're going to reinforce it with some super glue. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And we're going to fast forward right about now.
3:28 a.m.
All right, it has been 24 hours and we are back. And as you can see, this part right here, let's see if we can get that to focus. That part right there has hardened up, but we're going to do something to make sure that this doesn't move, this peg. We're just going to remove this off. As you can see, it didn't quite adhere as well as I thought it would, but don't worry. That's why we have Bob Smith glue here. So what we're going to do is we are going to just put a dab of glue, and because I have this precision tip, it should be very easy to put. Now we're just going to put a little bit just right at the top. And there you have it. That's more than enough glue. A little bit goes a long way. And we're going to put that cap on. And we're going to let that one dry for another hour or so. Okay? So that's the next step. Once you've created the extension, per se, of that joint, you can now super glue that on. And we're going to let that dry and make sure it dries. Okay? Don't just put this in. This is a time sensitive project. If you put this in right away, it is just going to stick. It's not going to work. So be very patient. All right, guys, I will see you again in about an hour or two.
Tomorrow for sure.
All right, it's been about an hour and we are back. I reheated my cup of water here and I've made sure that this is very sturdy, and it looks like it is. This is not going anywhere, but just in case, we're going to sand this guy down. Let's zoom in real quick right there. Looks like we've properly extended the peg so it could fit better in Jiren's socket. We're just going to sand this down really nicely just so we can get an even fit, so there's barely any resistance going in there, and it looks very smooth to me. Now we're going to do a quick joint test. See if we can find the joint real quick. And here's the joint. We're just going to see if this fits really well. And yes, it does. That is a nice, tight fit. It is no longer loose. Does it rotate? Yeah, it does. And there you have it. Just a quick disclaimer, if you have gotten this far in fixing your Jiren, let me just tell you, if you play with this figure, it will probably break again. So just pose him. Don't play with this figure once you do fixes. When it comes to fixing toys, they pretty much will never be the same when you break them, but you can get them pretty close to making them posable again. So that's just a little disclaimer. Alright guys, now that we're done here, let's assemble him and let's put him together. So that shouldn't be really that hard, or at least that's my final words. Let's see. Everyone give me 1 second. I gotta find all the pieces here. Assembling this guy is a little bit tricky, as you have to really get him loosened up. As you can see right here, this is a really tough fit. If you've already done this, then you should know how difficult it is to get this guy to work, to fit again. So what we're going to do, we have our hot water. Ooh, extremely hot. Yikes. And we're going to heat up this part. Let's heat that up. Nice and easy. Gotta make sure it's hot enough where it's like soft, and it is getting softer, so we're just gonna keep it in there for another 10 seconds. Okay. Ooh, that's really nice and soft now. Now it should be able to just plug right in. Yeah, it looks like it is going in. It just needs to work. And there you have it. Once you heat up parts when it comes to action figures, it makes it so much easier. So there you have it. Let's put this guy assembled now. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Give me one sec. So that's his left arm. The tricep has to go out. So it has to be kind of like that, I believe. Just gotta be sure. So once you put this in, I don't want to do this again. All right, there you have it. That's plugged in. And look at that. That is a beautiful fit right there. Wow, wow, wow. And there you have it. Comes right off, much easier. It's not as tight, but it's definitely not loose anymore. So we've definitely solved the issue, which is when that thing breaks, it just pops right out. It is very difficult to keep it on. Now that that peg's elongated, we can properly fit Jiren's arm back. So now we got to heat up this socket in order to put the shoulder in, because it is just a really tight fit. Let's take off Jiren's head real quick so he doesn't get too hot there. All we need is just the socket. So we're just going to do this in the hot water. It only takes like a couple of seconds. I want to make sure it's hot enough where it can be soft, like I said. And so all we got to do is pop this guy back, and look at that. It's super easy. Super duper easy. You could say it's Dragon Ball super easy. And there you have it. Jiren's arms are back. We have a fully fixed Jiren. Welcome back, my friend, to the universe. And there you have it. We have a completed fix. Okay, and there we have it. He is a complete Jiren. Looking really good. Arms are perfectly tightened up. We no longer have the issue of this arm falling out because of the broken joint that happened, which is a very common thing in the SH Figuarts Jiren. Let's break down the steps before we end this video. We're going to break down the steps on what exactly I did. First and foremost, you got to heat up this shoulder joint right here so you can pop that out. Once you pop out the arm, you should be able to heat this part up, the bicep, and then you can pop out that part, I believe, and then you can pop out the shoulder joint. Remember, your water has to be really hot. Like 3 minutes in the microwave, boiling hot on the stove, bubbles and all. You got to make sure that this plastic is nice and soft before you start removing joints and stuff. Okay, now once you isolate the joint, the shoulder joint, you're gonna have to take a dental pick and try to remove the broken parts that's in it. That's the hardest part of this entire fix. And then after that, you have to elongate the joint that's in there. And you have to do that with Fix-It Sculpt. Mix these guys really good. Just a little bit goes a long way. Okay? Put it on that broken joint. Wet it. Wet both sides of the joint and the new joint that you made. And make sure it fits right in. That one might be a little bit tricky, but as you can see in the video, it's actually quite easy. If you have enough water on there, it should just slide in and out. If not, just keep doing it. This thing has, when you mix up Fix-It Sculpt, you have about an hour to work with it, so you're okay. So once you completed that, let it dry for about 2 to 3 hours. And then what I do when it's hard enough, I just remove the top part of it, super glued it so it stays, leave it overnight, and it should fit. Everything should just fit perfectly from there. As you can see, we have a perfectly wonderful Jiren right there. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching this episode of Figure Fix Friday. If you guys have any figures you would like me to fix, you can email me at info@dstartoys.com. That email is in the description down below. Also, I'll be posting it in the comment section down below. And again, thanks for watching, and don't forget to visit www.dstartoys.com, your reliable source for awesome action figures, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace!
Hey you! Thanks for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Where? Right here. Not there, right here. You. And thanks for watching. So, rate, comment, and subscribe. Right here, right there, right here.